Hello, welcome to my channel, Another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and I am here today to read. Hello, welcome to my channel, Another. Hello, welcome to my channel, Another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and I am here to review a book, Bear by Marian, Engel, originally published in 1976. It has been called one of the most controversial novels written in Canada. When it was published, it mostly got pretty good reviews. There were some notable exceptions. A critic named Scott Symons called the book spiritual gangrene, a Faustian compact with the devil. And if that doesn't make you drop everything and go out to your local bookstore or your local internet provider and get this book, I don't know what will. But spiritual gangrene is just like a come on to me. It's just like, come and get it, boy. You're going to love this. Well, anyway, this is the story of Lou, a 27-year-old woman working in Ontario, Canada. I think that's right. And she is a librarian living a rather dull life. She works for a foundation as a librarian. And some recluses up in the northeastern part of Ontario have donated a house and library to this Heritage Foundation. And as she is sent out to catalog what is in this house is on an island with no running water and no electricity. But it's a fabulous old mansion built around 1850. And it is just a gorgeous piece of architecture, although rather rustic without electricity and running water. There is an outhouse outside for her to use. Well, she gets there and she starts settling into her job, and one of the caretakers mentions that the old owners had a pet bear. It's a rather elderly bear. It's not a very aggressive bear, but it is still a bear and is considered a wild animal. And he says, you can say hi to the bear and you can feed the bear, but it's a wild animal. Don't trust it. Well, there is Lou out on her island doing her work. And you get this sense of existential dread about how lonely her life is, how meaningless her life is. And what is she going to do with herself in the middle of this wilderness? Well, she starts taking the bear swimming. She unleashes its chain and leads it down to the water so the bear can swim. And then she starts swimming with the bear, and she's feeling this sense of spiritual exaltation, that life is free and that life can be good. And then she notices that the bear will let himself into the house at night if he's not chained up. And she starts sleeping next to the bear. And one night, she's feeling rather lonely. And let's just say that a sexual relationship develops between this woman and the bear. I guess that's part of the spiritual gangrene. It's not overly gross or overly graphic, but you do know what the bear and the woman are doing together. And I guess that's why a lot of people find this book so shocking. But truly, it's a novel of a woman searching for herself, trying to find out her place in the world where she does not feel like she has a proper place. And she makes a very unusual sexual choice. Now, novels from early in the 19th century also dealt with these issues. I'm thinking of Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence, where the lady of the house, a married woman, chose to have a sexual relationship with a working class man. And that was considered blasphemous. You always hear about Lady Chatterley's Lover being an overly naughty book. And it's really not a very naughty book. The naughtiness comes with the woman making her own choice and choosing a lower class man. And in this one, this woman chooses an animal, a bear. Even though she is not necessarily upper class, I think the parallels are the same. It is a woman making a choice that other people would find rather peculiar, rather distasteful. But it is her choice. And in many ways, she is rather pleased with her choice. And this is a little bit of a passage from the book. She knew now that she loved him. She loved him with such an extravagance that the rest of the world had turned into a tight, meaningless knot, except for the landscape, which remained outside them, natural, having its own orgasms of summer weather. When there were no motorboats, she now swam with the bear, swam for hours, splashing and fishing him pretty stones, which he accepted gravely and held to his short-sighted eyes. On the shore, he tossed her pine cones. In the boathouse, she found a ball. They sat with their legs splayed on the grass and rolled it between them. She tried to toss it, but he seemed to be afraid, not to be able to catch it. So they rolled it gravely, hour, it seemed, after hour, swam again, played seal games. He swam underneath her, blew bubbles at her breasts. She spread her legs to catch them. That does sound like a very peculiar romance. But I think going to the critic about the spiritual gangrene, I'm going to go out on a limb and say his spiritual gangrene may not have been her choice of a lover. His spiritual gangrene may have been deciding that the woman gets to choose her lover in the same way that Lady Chatterley chose her lover, the lower class gardener. But in this case, it's a bear, even lower class, I suppose. But at this point in the book, this woman has found her true love in a bear. And maybe that is the spiritual gangrene. And I find it utterly fascinating. Parts of this book are really beautifully written. That passage that I read is so peculiar because it's so quaint. You could just see two lovers rollicking on this island alone. It just so happens that one of the lovers is a bear. How bad of her, how naughty of her, how wicked of her to make that choice. And I found myself reading this rather enwrapped in it. I really enjoyed it. And I think a lot of other people would enjoy this book a lot. Obviously, you have to get over that situation of a sexual relationship with a bear. But when I also think about it, I think about a lot of modern authors nowadays where you have women having love relationships with werebeasts, werebears, werewolves, werewolverines, whatever. Because there's something in a woman choosing a non-human or something that could become non-human that I guess is very enticing to women. Now, I think about this from the male perspective, and I'm not so sure you could have a story of a man in a sexual relationship with a female bear. I'm not sure that would work. Even if he had that same sense of existential dread in the male and worrying about his place in society, would he turn to a bear and have it be some sort of cohesive story? I don't know about that. I don't know of any stories like that. But I'm going to recommend The Bear to people who think they can handle this kind of story because it's oddly beautiful and very, very bizarre at the same time. Thank you for watching, and keep on reading.